As far back as I can remember, my childhood never was normal. It always consisted of moving around, living in and out of different motels, trailer parks, cars, and with other people. Never a sure place to call home. I grew up with a single mother, older sister, and an older brother who wasn't around much. We never stayed in one place too long, so I was always bouncing in and out of different schools, never actually meeting too many friends or getting to do things a child should do. My mother was very caring and loving, and always did what she had to do to make sure we had something to eat and a place to sleep. But my mom had a lot of problems stemming from alcohol and drug use, which came from her side of the family, where this was the norm. Growing up, the problems never stood out to me because I was all around it all the time and it just seemed normal. At the age of 8, I attended counseling and would always have to see the DFACS caseworkers. I never knew exactly why, or I just never really cared to ask. They would always ask me how life was at home, and if I could paint a room, what color would it be? Somehow they figured my answer would determine how I was feeling, and my reply always was black or dark blue. I never really talked much. I would always just ignore them and play games on the computer. When I was 9, my mother became very ill from a stomach ulcer and other medical issues. She had to get a feeding tube because they had to remove half of her stomach and she couldn't consume as much as she used to. She no longer could take care of us. One morning when we were at school, I remember my teacher having me prepare a bag full of candy and the chips and a stuffed animal, and her telling me that there was a student leaving us today, but not say who that student was. The bell rang and they asked if I could come to the front office. I had this crazy feeling knowing what it was all about, and I began to cry. When I got closer to the front office, I could see an officer and my dad's mother whom I didn't know, but I had seen a time or two before. All I could do was say I didn't want to go. We were placed in a foster home for about a month, then was moved to Airport Children's Home in Columbia, South Carolina, where I stayed for a year until my grandma got custody of us. When I was 11, I moved to Augusta with my grandparents, my father's parents, whom I didn't know much about. I didn't want to be there because I had grown to love the children's home and had met a bunch of people who were just like me. I got involved in playing sports, and that was my getaway. When I was playing sports, I didn't have a care in the world. Through all of that, I was the first person to graduate from both sides of my family. This also was the year I chose to explore a little bit and have some fun. I tried smoking marijuana. Instantly, I liked it. Everything that bothered me seemed to go away, but it just wasn't enough. I had to have more, so I began taking pain pills, opiates. At first, it was just to get high, but the more and more I did it, I had to consume more and more just to get a buzz. For the first couple of years, I never really thought of it as being a problem until I didn't have any. When I didn't, I would be uneasy and would have mood changes. I didn't want to do anything unless I had them, and I couldn't get out of bed because I was sick from not having them. My body became dependent on them, and it became more of a need than a want. After 6 years of opiate abuse, I became tired of and no longer wanted to go through the struggles of having them, not having them, or having the risk to get them. I tried taking less and tried to wean myself off them, but that didn't seem to work. I thought I could get off them on my own, and boy, was I wrong. As I was going through withdrawals, I didn't want to be bothered by anyone or anything. I didn't have the patience or the tolerance to deal with anyone, even if they were just saying hello. When I was going through opiate withdrawals in 2013, I was hanging with a friend of mine. He knew what I was going through at the time and told me he didn't have any pain pills to help me, but he did have something else that may help. That was the day I tried crystal meth. Immediately after I had tried it, my withdrawal slowly went away. I continued using more to help me stay away from opiates, but in honesty, it was just me trading one drug for another. Between December 2014 and January 2015, I lost 6 immediate family members, which included my mother and my grandmother, and the pain that I felt was awful. This put me in a rough state of mind where I no longer cared about myself or anyone around me. While I was already a heavy user, I began using more and not taking care of myself or my responsibilities. In 2017, a friend of mine came and picked me up. Little did I know he had just shot someone in the face over drugs. While at a Circle K convenience store, we were both arrested. I was arrested on 2 bench warrants for not showing up to court. I was in the Richmond County Detention Center for 3 months before going to court. I signed a plea deal for 7 years probation with early termination if I completed a rehabilitation program. Since I couldn't be released until I was accepted into a program, I had to depend on my public defender to find me one. This is when he found the drug and alcohol rehabilitation program at the Salvation Army. He had called Dr. Rhodes in jail, and he interviewed me over the phone. I remember Dr. Rhodes specifically asking when was the soonest I could be released because he had a bed open up and didn't know how long he would have it. I was released on July 16, 2017 at 9 a.m. with orders to report to the Salvation Army by 4 p.m. My road to recovery began that day. Since the first day I met with Dr. Rhodes and the staff from the Center of Hope, I felt like family. They treated me with respect and I felt like I belonged. During my 9 months in the rehabilitation program, there were many things I had to do to stay focused and determined to reach my goals. This consisted of going to NA, 8A meetings, celebrate recovery, and more importantly, attending church every Sunday. When I first got here, all I could think about was me being gone from my family and friends for another 9 months. I remember saying, how was I going to do this? But I kept reminding myself that I was doing this for me, working to get my life together. The first 90 days seemed to go by slow. We could not leave the building unless escorted by staff or with someone who was off protection. It was when I could have a phone, time went by fast. Never did I ever think I needed help, but coming here made me realize how much I did need it. It has taught me so much about addiction and myself that I did not know. I had forgotten how to love myself. I didn't have a relationship with God. I was going through the motions. However, these past 9 months have taught me that you must love yourself and take care of yourself before you can love or take care of someone else. My relationship with Christ is better and stronger than before. I've learned that some people are not meant to be a part of your life, and letting go of the closest people around you is sometimes the best thing. Drug use for me became more of a coping mechanism to help me deal with the stress and the problems I had going on in my life, but learning that even after all the drugs, my problems would still be there. The road to recovery is all about self-exploration, and I've learned more about myself. I've even learned how to deal with my emotions and feelings, and that feeling is actually good. Being sober has been a new experience because it's something I haven't done in so long. But my story doesn't end there. While in recovery, I spent my last 3 months in the job skills training program offered by the Salvation Army. Through the program, I was able to obtain valuable job skills along with several certifications, including forklift operations, OSHA 10, CPR First Aid, and SurfSafe. I have now completed both the rehabilitation program and job skills training program. I currently have a job working construction, and now that I have income, the Salvation Army has also helped me get a place through the Rapid Rehousing program. Being a part of the Salvation Army has been one of the best blessings I've ever had, if not the best. I'm thankful for the program, but I'm even actually thankful for the people, because the program is just a program because it's the people around you who make it what it is. And I couldn't have asked them at a better group of people. Just when you think they've helped enough, they continue to encourage you and put you in the best position they can. They don't just throw you out. They work with you. I'm grateful to the people at the Salvation Army and United Way for a better opportunity and a chance to start my life over. When you give to United Way, you help people like me. This experience has been a blessing, and I wouldn't change anything about my past, because if I did, I may have never gotten the chance to meet such a great group of people that I now call family. Thank you.